Frame shift.
Frame shift activated.
And away! Ah, fuck, I just remembered I've got to do some washing. I guess that's going to wait. Slow.
Aye, Captain.
Alright, what do we got happening here? Damn it, we got nothing close by, that's for sure. Right. Hopefully we get something close to this station, considering we've got to fly all the way out to it. Full speed.
Full ahead.
Stop.
Affirmative. Slowing to a full engine stop.
Full speed.
100% now, sir.
Boost.
Full burn.
If you shoot at me, you little shit, I'm gonna obliterate you. Frame shift.
Frame shift drive engaging.
Okay, what to do to fill in the time? Hmm. I wonder if I get a copyright hit if I start listening to Bill Burr. Yeah, let's do it anyway.
Party, which I always say I'm not going, you know, because there's always 50 fucking people there and only like, you know, 12 of them give a shit about the game. And everybody else is running around and, you know, all the fucking shit that I fucking had a tampon up my ass about for fucking ever with those things. But I actually said, you know what, fuck it, I'm going to go to a party because, you know, I'm just not into the fucking game or whatever. And then I showed up and I realized I was totally into the game. And fortunately, the party I went to was great. Everybody was into it. Everybody was watching. People were saying stuff about the game that made sense. You know, it was football fans and the food was fucking tremendous. And had a great time. I got to tell you, going to the Super Bowl party, though, something that I never noticed was the just general open hatred for Coldplay. Why does
That's
everybody
because
hate
Coldplay
Why
suck.
does everybody hate that band? They're not that bad,
Yeah, they are.
right? Everybody's, oh, dude, they're so fucking lame. They get like half like Nickelback hate. You know what I mean? Hang on a second. This fucking curtain's messed up. It's driving me fucking crazy. I'm gonna stare at it the entire time. What is the problem? Sorry. I apologize. Yeah, so Coldplay comes out. I don't know what they were singing. They were jumping around a lot. I immediately left because I didn't want to watch Beyonce sass it up. You know what I mean? I cannot. The same way, you know, the way she behaves on stage is the way a lot of athletes behave after they make a great fucking play. And somewhere that happened during my lifetime. It went from fucking scoring a touchdown, just giving the ball to the ref, to absolutely, you know, just fucking, I don't know what you do. You start line dancing and you just can't believe how amazing you are. Right? And everybody claims, oh, he's having so much fun. No, he isn't. He's marketing himself. He's whoring himself out right now. All right? You should literally
50.
have to put on a pair of fucking
Engaging
stilettos
now.
when you do it.
50%.
Just walk the fucking block after you fucking dunk or score a touchdown or whatever, right? So I didn't want to watch her, you know that fucking stupid walk that divas do? Where they sort of stomp down the stage as they cross one leg over in front of it, swinging their fucking hips. I always just want somebody to just give them a big fucking leg sweep. That's me. You know what I mean? So I was like, I don't want to watch that shit. So Coldplay comes out, and everybody says, oh, God, Jesus Christ. He's, you know, no one wants to see him. It wasn't that bad, but I could feel it, you know? I just want to say, you know, I don't understand these fucking bands that sell millions and millions of fucking records, yet you cannot find one person that will admit that they're a fan, right? All you guys right now who are nodding your heads going, oh, yeah, they're so fucking lame. Scroll through your fucking phone right
Target.
now.
Affirmative, Captain.
Go down to CO. You're going to find, you got one song. Admit it. You must have one song, right? What's that one? Their first hit. What's my... Look at me face as I walk down the beach with all the things you do. And it was all yellow. I married a chick, she had yellow hair. I didn't wear a condom and now we're fucking divorced. And I'm still paying child support. Does he pay child support to her, or is it the other way around? That's a close one. What's the name of that broad there that he married? She looks fucking moody. All those good-looking
Afterburners
chicks that do
engaged.
fucking yoga, they're fucking basket running the other direction. You know, and they have like those stones that are for their chi, and they put them around the fucking house, and they think it makes them spiritual. You just got to get the fuck away from them. You know, anybody with a yoga room and is at least an 8 as far as being good looking, you just got to get the fuck away from them. They're too good looking to be spiritual. You know what I mean? You've never had to buy a drink for yourself in your life. I don't give a fuck how much yoga you do. You're not going to be able to have any sort of self-analysis.
Targeting highest threat.
Like, I don't think the thought of, maybe I was being a cunt there. I don't think that ever fucking goes through your head. So I got to commend that guy in Coldplay for not writing a lot of angry songs. He just kind of has doesn't he just have nice songs? I think that's the big problem with that band. It's just nice, right? These things generally in a good mood. You know, the guy seems like a happy guy. That makes you pretty hateable. You know what I mean? But if you put on a fucking flannel jacket, right? Dressed like a lumberjack, marking that hard work because you go fucking sitting around in your goddamn rooms in your green room. You come out and sing some miserable song, everybody likes you. Right? The fuck's that guy's name there sang all those songs? Ugh, Nirvana, right? That Kurt Cobain, man. Yeah, I really wish he didn't kill himself so I could trash him more. You know? Fucking guy. I wish I was like you. Easily
50.
amused. Hey, Kurt, you don't
Drives
fucking know me. Go fuck
engaging
yourself.
50%.
What the fuck you think I'm doing? Staring at a dreidel over here? All amazed that it keeps spinning? When this shit came out, I was like, is it me? Or is this guy the most condescending cunt ever? He comes out, their first fucking video,
Target
he's
ready
making fun
to
of tap-on
engage.
solos like he could do it. He just didn't feel like doing it. Sorry, these are just the ramblings of a man who saw the beginning, the middle, and the end of hair metal, and he took it all seriously.
Multiple targets in this area, Commander. Could be dangerous.
And that goddamn Nirvana. I just sounded like Giamatti in that fucking Howard Stern movie. Howard Stern. That goddamn motherfucker. Me and DeRosa rewound that like 15 times. You know, in the end of the movie when like Pig Vomit's career is just completely in the shitter and he's like standing outside. And he's just dumbfounded at the success that Howard's had. He's just, Howard Stern. He just kind of looks away. Goddamn motherfucker. Anyways. I'm just saying, how about in 2016? There's so many real things out there to get your passion up about. I don't think you should go around hating Coldplay. Oh, that poor bastard. That poor bastard got married to a
Enemy
beautiful
destroyed,
woman.
Commander.
Nearest hostile
Oh my God,
selected.
It's over. It's fucking over.
Nearest hostile.
Ugh. Some of the most self-involved fucking human beings you're ever gonna find in your life are
Nearest
gonna be
threat
in that
selected.
fucking stinky-ass yoga room.
Multiple targets in this area,
Speaking of
Commander.
which, I'm
Could
probably
be
going to take a
dangerous.
class this week. No, my wife, she's staying with it, man. 7 days in, she's going to try to do yoga this whole fucking month, right?
Boosting engines.
She actually asked me, I can't remember if she asked me in the podcast, but she asked me, goes, you want to go to one of my yoga classes? And I was like, no. I was like, I'll do yoga, but I like doing it here at the house. You know what I mean? Where, like, if I feel like stopping doing yoga, I can just hit pause on the audio, go out and have some cereal, and then come back and just immediately fast forward to the closing poses.
Targeting.
Right? There's nothing wrong with that. I just hate how when you fucking go in there, they act like they have just the keys to happiness all the time, And there's not one picture of anybody on the wall, with these testimonies going like, I was a really miserable cunt, and then I went down and I took fucking Sally Strutter's yoga class.
Target
here.
locked.
And I don't know.
Enemy destroyed, Commander.
Nearest
Just
threat
rambling.
selected.
Multiple targets
I
in
was
this area,
down
Commander.
dog,
Could be
and all of a
dangerous.
sudden it just clicked, and I have been so happy ever since. I'm not saying yoga's overrated. I just don't need I don't need the chatter from the instructor. Just tell me the next fucking pose to do, and tell me to breathe. Okay? Stop with your goddamn philosophies. You ever watch a cooking show and they just get off on these fucking tangents? It's like, will you just tell me the next ingredient?
Target ready to
I don't even know
engage.
where basil comes from and how they used to bring it over in wooden ships. I don't give a
I'm
fuck.
taking damage, Commander. Performing evasive maneuvers.
Actually comes from
Hull integrity
basil
is 50%,
Romania, which is
Commander.
how it got its name.
Missiles on my tail,
Do you know the
Commander.
amount of people that are actually going to fucking waste their time tweeting?
Not gonna
that
last
there's
much
no such
longer,
thing as
Commander.
basal
Hull
cell?
is almost breached. We've
Romania,
lost the fighter, Commander.
You know, as if I don't know that that city is not in Italy.
Hostile.
You know, somebody did
Selecting target.
I talk so much shit on this podcast. Like when people give me shit for stuff that I say, half the time I can't remember what they're talking about. So somebody twittered at me and said,
Hold tight,
Hostile.
Commander.
They
Fighter
said,
is going
you know,
Locking
online.
onto target.
so-
Multiple
I
targets
guess
in
I
this area,
supported
Commander.
something.
Could be dangerous.
Okay, for whatever reason, they took
Heli
my
presence
rambling
online.
seriously,
Awaiting your orders.
and they said, supporting blah, blah, blah. He said something, do your homework next time you support blah, 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 right?
Hostile.
And then had a link.
Target
See,
locked.
right out of the gate, I'm always like, who the fuck is this fucking asshole coming at me with that tone? You do your homework. Like I work for you, you cunt, right? So he goes, do your homework, and whatever I said about something, his homework was he sent me
Hostile.
a link to
Targeting
an article in the
nearest
New York
hostile.
Times. So that was his homework. He fucking looked at one periodical that leans completely one way politically. All right? The old liberal fucking New York Times. So like, and I feel like I'm a liberal, right? But I would never just read the New York Times and just be like, well, there you go. That's evidently what's happening. You know how dumb that is? That would be like listening to this podcast and taking
Hostile.
it seriously.
That's one for
and
me,
wasting
Commander.
Nearest hostile
fucking 3 minutes of your
selected.
life to tweet me. Jesus, Bill, did
Hostile.
you bring it all back around? You
Targeting.
fucking
Stand by.
old school cunt. Maybe I did. Maybe I did. That day. All right, here we go. So anyways, so I guess they're playing each other. And I guess we play in England in golf or some shit. Like anybody gives a fuck. I
Hostile.
guess a lot of people give a fuck.
Targeting
I don't.
highest
Got multiple
threat.
I
hostiles here.
assume no one else
Let's
does
take them out
because
one at a
I'm
time.
self-centered. So anyways, his brother was texting with somebody. This is once again, I don't know how somebody found this, if it was a fucking email or whatever. Well, why don't I read it for it? Danny Willett was quietly going about his business during a Ryder Cup practice round Wednesday morning when all hell was breaking loose on social media
I'm
thanks
taking
to a
damage, Commander.
scathing
Performing evasive
screed
maneuvers.
his brother wrote
Hull
for a
integrity
website
50%, Commander.
in
The
which
ship's
he
taking a
called
beating.
Americans
Not sure how much more of this
fat,
I'll be able to
stupid,
handle.
greedy, classless bastards. You know what I love about that? That guy, he just hit the nail on the head. Can we fucking argue any of that, generally speaking?
Roger that. I'll take care of the mothership,
Come on, let's
Commander.
go through them. Fat,
We've
you
got
got
multiple
us,
hostiles
stupid.
here. Let's take 'em out one at a time.
You know, I'll give you that. Greedy, absolutely.
Fighter is
Classless
online.
bastards.
I'm ready when you are.
Totally, 100 fucking percent. Dude, this guy's insults on the fucking golf fans that show up to this thing. It's like when Larry Bird would just be doing the three-point contest and he just kept shooting them through the net. You know, and when he ends it with classless bastards, that's the two-point ball, the colored one in the end. Dude, I read this thing.
Taking enemy fire, Commander.
Like
What
the
are your
headline
orders?
says Family Feud. Willett's brother, however the fuck you say his name. It just says, Americans, fat, stupid, greedy bastards. And I was on the plane and I bursted out laughing. And and I was like, please let this article be as much of a joy to read as the headline. And it was. He said the
Missiles on my tail, Commander.
man, here we
Under
go, stupid. I
fire.
can't
Hull
even
is
say this word. The
50%. My
excoriating
shields are down.
of
Request
American
assist,
golf
Commander. The
surely
fighter
was
just
not
brought
a
the
part
big
of
one,
Darren
Commander.
Clark's captain's handbook, part of which states the visiting team shall not rile up the opposition's home crowd with trash talk. These were some of the choicest of his words in the article. I gotta read this fucking article. This is what he
Hostile.
said. For the Americans to stand a
Nearest
chance of
hostile.
winning, they need their baying mob of imbeciles. The only thing that can make this funny is listening to this guy say it in an English accent. This is the greatest shit I've read in a while. To get their baying mob of imbeciles to caress their egos every step of the way. Team Europe needs to shut those groupies up. They need to silence the pudgy, basement-dwelling irritants stuffed on cookie dough and pissy beer, pausing between mouthfuls of hot dogs so they can scream Bubba Booey
Hostile.
until their jelly faces
Targeting
turn
next
red.
hostile.
He just keeps going. They need to stun the angry, unwashed, Make America Great Again swarm, desperately gripping their concealed carry compensators and belting out a mini erection-inducing mashed potato, hoping to impress
Hostile.
their cousin.
Locking target.
They need to smash the obnoxious dads with their shiny teeth, Lego man hair, medicated ex-wife, and resentful children. Oh my God. If I wasn't so lazy, I'd give this guy a standing ovation. How do you get mad? I mean, how do you get, when a guy goes that hard, how the fuck do you get mad at that? I mean, that's hilarious. Come on, man. You could do the same thing about them. They're fucked up teeth, they're fat fucking fish and chip eating jackasses. Neo-Nazi fucking racists beating the fuck out of each other at their fucking stupid ass pussy fucking football games. You can't use your hands. Everybody flopping around the ground. Dude, soccer is such a shitty fucking sport. Women's
Hostile.
soccer is actually better
Target
than the
him.
men's. All right? And I'm just
Hostile.
talking legit. I don't mean like
Locking
volleyball,
on.
because they're fucking hot at dude. Look at the fucking ass on her. I'm not looking at them even remotely even objectifying them. I'm just saying straight up as a sport. The fucking ladies play.
Hostile.
Somebody trips them, they get up. These
Nearest
fucking
threat
guys
selected.
are rolling around on the ground. Oh my God, it's like watching musical theater without the fucking music. It's horrific. There, so I did that. Now does my brother have to apologize to me? Fucking standing ovation. What the? I gotta give that guy a shout out. Not to Danny, because Danny, that for some reason he has to. You know, he laughed his fucking balls off. In some really comfortable clothes.
Hostile.
Golfing clothes. He
Locking
must have
on.
been laughing his fucking ass off.
Hostile.
Just be like, dude, why the fuck did you do
Targeting
that to me?"
next hostile.
He just goes, after that fucking masterpiece. All right, whether you agree with it or not, that was a fucking Lego man hair, our pissy beer. Come on. They're fucking concealed carry compensators. Okay, and then this is what he says. You know, off the record, he laughed his balls off. And then on the record, he's just like, I'd just like to apologize to everyone involved. I spoke to him on the phone after I was made aware of what was being said. And I said to Pierre, I was obviously
50.
disappointed at what was said.
Okay,
What was
50%
written about the
engaged.
Mavericks fans. They took me under their wing fantastically back in April, I guess when he won the Masters. And as soon as I got off the golf course, I went to see Davis, and me and Davis had a chat for a few minutes about it all.
Hostile.
Locking
Took it really
target.
well. We took it really well. They were fucking laughing their balls off. And you know what's funny is then they got a picture of the American fans, you know. And there's 3 people in the photo, and there's not one of them that I would not go out and get shit faced with. I mean, these are the fucking people. You need those people. These are the people.
Hostile.
They're not gonna do anything in
Nearest
life.
hostile
They're
selected.
gonna watch other people do shit in life and go fucking nuts, right? When you accomplish something, and when you don't, they're gonna say you suck and talk a bunch of shit about what they would have done, right? Who doesn't love being that guy? They're all draped in the fucking. One guy's dressed like Uncle Sam. Another guy, for whatever reason, he has an American flag shirt, and then he has like
50%.
a park ranger hat on. Maybe that's a golf thing. And the other guy has got he's got the American flag over his head while wearing a baseball hat. He looks like an old woman, like when he's wearing like a shawl or something. Oh, that's fucking. You know, and there's nothing better too. The dumber the fans are at a golf event when they're around pros, that's one of my favorite things. You know what I mean? Because you just everything about like tennis and golf is shh, shh, like stop talking, shh. You know what I mean? It's fucking. You look at fucking NBA. You're going to take a fucking foul shot. Like a third of the stadium is doing everything but taking their dicks out and shaking it in your face.
Target locked.
And these guys can consistently make it. How about a little
Targeting
focus?
highest threat.
Tennis is the same way. Quiet, please. Quiet, please. You know what I mean? They don't boo, they whistle. They just hear what they want to hear, right? So this guy writes me, and this guy is basically, I think, blaming me in a roundabout way
Hostile.
for Donald Trump getting in. Because
Nearest
God knows
hostile.
that's the kind of power the Monday Morning Podcast has, you know? Couple 100,000 downloads. I mean, that's it, dude. That's it. I can't believe I don't have Secret Service security right outside my door as I do this.
Selecting
Literally
target.
a podcast where I talk about fucking sports 90% of the time. I talk about conspiracy theory. I say I'm an idiot. I can't read out loud. You know, this guy, for some reason, is choosing to ignore all of this. I'm going to say because the person he wanted didn't get in. So here we go. Dear Freckles, I'm no rocket scientist, all right? Immediately going self-deprecating. Neither are you. Okay, agreed. And I think it's safe to assume the large majority of your listeners aren't either. Unlike you, I would never speak for them. I don't know who they are. Okay? But, you know, if you want to assume that, to continue on with your point, I'll go along with it. Most are like me.
Locking onto
Average
target.
middle. This person has not done one fucking ounce of research for this. But this is how we build points. This is how I build a point. Most are like me. Average middle class folk who like a laugh twice a week from our favorite comedian. See this? This is laying the groundwork. I feel an overhand right coming. You have swayed my opinion on several things over the years. Oh, Jesus. Most notably, I went from a Patriot hater to someone who supports them and agrees they are unfairly scrutinized by the league and other teams. Well, isn't that amazing? So I guess if I could sway you on the amount of air that should be in a football, I could sway you on who you're going to pick for the leader of the free world. Yeah, I guess that's the same. You know, I can totally see that point. I don't think there's any sort of giant body of water that you're leaping over there. I don't. Okay, here we go. When I realized how much your opinions influence me, I realized how much they might influence others. Okay, here's the big failure here, buddy. Okay, you didn't agree with me on the Patriots. I brought you around. You didn't agree with me with my political opinion on Hillary Clinton. You didn't change. You know? I think that I can bring
Target
your
ready
fucking
to
opinion
engage.
around about using those savey, save, fucky, fuck cards in your everyday bullshit life. But when I think it comes down to electing the leader of the free world, I think you go a little bit beyond the Monday Morning Podcast or the Thursday afternoon just before Friday Monday Morning Podcast where I scream, I'm just checking in on you like a fucking idiot for half a minute. All right, so here he goes with this. See, he's laid. See, he came out, I'm no rocket scientist, self-deprecating, okay? Then he goes, hey, and then he just goes, well, I'm going to assume that this is what your listeners are without doing
Hostile.
any sort of research.
Targeting
And then I'm gonna
nearest
go,
hostile.
You swayed me on this fucking basic bullshit horseshit that means absolutely nothing. Therefore, you could sway me on something that means, you know. Jesus Christ, dude, you walk through the mall and there's somebody sitting there going, hey, buddy, can I talk to you for a
Stand
second?
by for deployment.
This is a
Fighter is
self-fair.
going
Look at this.
live.
You can spray some spritzer
Multiple
in it, blah, blah,
targets
blah,
in
and all
this
of a sudden
area,
you buy
Commander.
some little
Could be
impulse
dangerous.
buy thing. Then with your
Heli
theory, that
presence
guy could
online.
also
Awaiting your
get you to
orders.
vote for who the fuck he wants you to vote for. Anyways, continuing
Enemy
on. When I
destroyed,
realized
Commander.
how much your opinion
Targeting.
influenced me, I
Stand by.
realized how much they might influence others and how these influences might have much larger implications than the NFL. Call me crazy, but it seems like you're going into paranoia now. After your polls said that your person was going to win, and now you're sitting there with your jaw on the ground, and now you're looking for a scapegoat. And here I am, a 48-year-old, bald, pasty fucking redhead. There's an easy target. Let's go after him. I love it, buddy. Let's do it. Fucking tar and feather me. Here we go. You have consistently and foolishly bashed Hillary so much more than you have Trump. Hilarious,
Targeting.
right? So much more than Trump. I have an entire chunk of material on Donald Trump, and Trump was so fucking easy. I felt guilty when I was on stage. I did it when I was on Conan about building the fucking wall. How ridiculous an idea that is, how much money that was going to be. I did all of that. I always called him a dope. I always called him a reality TV show star. Didn't even remotely respect him as a
Thrusters
businessman.
50%.
I said I didn't believe that he was a billionaire. I said I don't think that he could get you $6,000 in cash if you gave him 6 or 7 weeks. I thought he was completely leveraged out. I made fun of his hair.
I made fun of how he didn't say anything to anybody. He never said anything. It was the most fascinating thing I've ever seen. He would go like fucking, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that, I'm gonna do it. And someone would be like, how are you gonna do that? And he would be like, oh, you'll see. You'll see. I was doing a bit in my act going, I want to use that with my wife. Just make all these
Hostile.
outrageous
That's
claims.
one for me,
about
Nearest
what I'm
hostile
gonna be.
selected.
And then when she gives me shit, well, what are you gonna do to prove yourself? Oh, you'll see. You'll see. No, you need to tell me. Well, I'm not gonna give away my strategies. Then you'll steal them. I did all of that, right? And then Hillary, I said that she was part of the Bilderberg group. I talked about the Hillary Foundation and how they fucking been living off of that shit. They threw a $3 million wedding for their daughter. All of that type of shit. All of her fucking
Hostile.
felony charges and
Targeting
everything, which of
next
course all
hostile.
Hillary supporters are like, those were unfounded, they were not proven. Yet, with fucking Donald Trump, 6 or 7 people say that he sexually assaulted them, which I
We've
fucking
got
believe.
multiple hostiles
I
here.
believe that
Let's
too.
take them out one at a time.
That girl when she went, get real, which I also said on the podcast, and I was like, dude, he definitely did that shit. You didn't hear any of this shit, did you, sir? You know why? Because you got fucking blue
Enemy
ties
destroyed,
stuck in your
Commander.
fucking ears. All right, let's go. Continuing to blame me. All right. I evidently, it's so much more. I trashed Hillary. The entire election, you have unfairly focused hate on her. And at the end of your tirade, you tack on, oh, and he's a cunt too. You don't seem to realize the influence you have on people who listen to you twice a week, every week. Sir, you've done nothing to prove that I have influence. This is all something that you built
Locking
in your
onto
head
target.
when you were hyperventilating that this fucking monster got into the office. All right? And Hillary's a monster too. Okay? And that right there was my, oh, and she's a cunt too.
Okay,
I didn't like either one of these
50%
people. And that was my
engaged.
message throughout all of this. Okay? And that's just my fucking opinion, which I'm allowed to have. Aren't I? All right. You most likely influenced at least one voter to vote for Donald Trump. And for that, you should be fucking ashamed. Dude, this is all fucking conspiracy theory. Because you got somebody to cast one vote for the person
Missiles
that
on my
I
tail,
didn't vote
Commander.
for. You should
I'm
be
taking
fucking
damage, Commander.
ashamed.
Performing evasive maneuvers.
Because I
Under
only see
fire.
the faults
Hull is
of the
50%.
guy with the
Targeting.
red
Not
tie,
gonna last
and
much
I
longer,
don't see any
Commander.
faults
Hull
with
is
the
almost
person
breached.
with the blue
Fighter
blouse.
is down, Commander.
All right, you are so stupid. Here we go. This is always great to get somebody to listen to your opinion.
Hostile.
Usually,
Target
what you should do,
locked.
you usually should end with the insult. Say your point, and then you tag on, you fucking asshole, because then they'll at least hear your point. But if you start this, if you front end load, all right, you are so stupid that in one sentence you go from saying how they never talk about this issue or that issue, then conclude by saying, but I haven't watched any of the debates or kept up on this at all. You fucking idiot. Yeah, exactly.
Targeting. Stand by.
Exactly. You don't think that Trump supporters didn't say the same thing? They did, buddy, because I have the exact same fucking email from the other side. All right? Which, with my theory that I'll now use, that also has no research behind it, I would say that you guys all sort of canceled each other out. So whatever influence I had, I influenced somebody the other way too. So I am completely exonerated here. And if you look at the
Drives
popular vote,
engaging
it was almost right down the
50%.
fucking middle. So there you go. So he calls me a fucking idiot, all right? They never talk about climate change. It's something you've said on Monday. The day before the election. You have no clue what you're talking about. Well, first of all, I said they never do. I didn't say that one or the other, so that was an even-handed one, right? She goes, Clinton has made it a major point and supports the Paris Agreement. Nothing I ever saw, she made it a major point. She's commented on it. It goes, the Paris Agreement, not that you even know what the fuck that is, you freckled fuck. Of course. See, this guy, once again, making assumptions. I know what the Paris Agreement is. I've seen it on The Daily Show. I saw when they all talked about it. I saw when they went there and the right finally said, and I actually talked about this on the podcast, sir.
Thrusters
When the right went
50%.
there, and they finally said, okay, after denying it, they finally said global warming does exist, but it's too late to do anything about it now. All right? I believe I compared that to when Pete Rose finally admitted that he'd bet on baseball and said, now can you let me in the Hall of Fame? I distinctly remember saying that. Not that
Locking
you remember
target.
that, sir, because you got your blue bonnet stuffed in your fucking ear.
Targeting nearest
Right.
hostile.
I also actually looked up weeks ago, like, when did people first start talking about climate change? As I was driving down the street and I was listening, and they were saying, you know, I drove down the street that morning. I heard that on NPR they say scientists say the Great Barrier Reef is now dead, and then they went on to talk about the Cubs, which of course struck me as funny that the whole rest of the report should have been about that, or that
Selecting
swirl of trash in the
target.
Pacific Ocean and all that shit, which none of these guys really talk about. They do a little bit of lip service. That's about it, but they're not gonna fucking do anything about it. And even if they try to, they can't, because these corporations own them. Which is why I like the lunatic guys. I never vote for the fucking mean people. I don't know, whatever. Let's just plow ahead. So anyways, yeah, I actually looked it up. And the first time climate change was brought up, somebody had like a theory. It was before it was even happening. Was projecting
Target
that
ready
if
to
the
engage.
population kept growing, that it was, the theory was that we would heat up the planet. They did that in the early 1800s. I couldn't believe it. And then there was a few more things about it. I can't remember, it was weeks ago, but like in the late 50s was the first definitive paper saying, since the 1950s, scientists have been telling people that the pollutions and shit that we've been putting in the air or whatever, like, I'm not a scientist, okay? I am just a regular guy, but I read they have known about it or had the attention called to it since the late 1950s. Okay? So I am a moron, but I'm not as
Nearest
dumb
hostile.
as you think I am, sir. And one of the reasons why I underplay myself is because I don't want to be another fucking jerk off who's just fucking, you know, getting in your fucking ear like some people in my business. Okay? So anyways, he goes, Trump has
Targeting
said
highest
repeatedly
threat.
that climate change is a hoax that was created by the
Highest threat
Chinese. He
selected.
said it repeatedly. I'm going to look up the internet, see how many times he repeatedly said that. Usually when people say repeatedly, it means it's a quote that somebody said like 7 years ago. One time. All right. And yet you blindly and ignorantly spew your unfounded bullshit. Dude, you just defined this podcast. Why are you acting like this is Meet the Press?
Targeting next
He
hostile.
goes, I'm not a genius. Oh, he's back to being
Locking
humble
onto
again.
target.
I'm not a genius, as you call me a fucking idiot, all right? I'm not a political scientist. Now he's doing humble pie.
Selecting
He's got
target.
his hands up. But I took just a few hours out of my life to research both of their positions on crucial issues and get an understanding of them. Oh, yeah, I never did that. I didn't do that at all. And I'm not the one speaking to thousands of people twice a week. You should truly be horrified at the thought you had anything to do with this fucking train wreck. I love how do you think that Hillary has any responsibility for the campaign that she ran? I mean, from day one, her campaign could not use an unbelievable asset, which was former President Bill Clinton. Because of all of the shit show that guy was, both professionally and in his personal life. Her husband, it was a former president that was wildly popular. She couldn't even use the guy because of all the fucking skeletons in his fucking closet. You know? And together they both had skeletons, you know? It's a very polarizing candidate that you picked, and I thought in key moments, you know, where she really could have come up with something clever to say, she didn't have it. Look, sir, be honest with me. What really gets you into office? Your policy or playing the saxophone on fucking Arsenio Hall? Or not sticking your head out of a tank and looking like a fucking dope? Or getting too excited and going, yeah! I mean, that's the kind of shit that brings people down, more so than anything else. And dude, that's not my fault, if you want to fucking blame me for that, but that is the truth. So you can actually win an election like you just saw that fucking dope Trump do without saying a fucking thing, but being good at trashing somebody's fucking shirt, which is basically how he got in. Promising a bunch of shit, not saying what he was gonna do, and then go, look at that guy down there, he's fucking clueless, and everybody just laughing. Hillary didn't have any of that. She had no fucking swagger. She just... Dude, I remember when she did that hot sauce moment on that fucking radio show? And
Boosting now.
Everybody knows African American, and she
100%
goes, "What's your
now,
favorite? You
sir.
know, what's your go-to thing? What do you always carry around with you?" And she said hot sauce, which evidently was true. Okay, but it immediately looked like she was
Boost
pandering.
activated.
And the guy said, "Are you just trying to pander?" Sounds to me like you're just trying to pander to black people. And rather than just saying like, "No, man, I like it. I've been blah 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 blah," she goes, "Is it working?" I mean, that right there. Why the fuck would you say that?
Boosting now.
Why would you say it? And when I saw her say that, I assumed, I said, she is pandering. And then people were going
Targeting.
like, well, actually, it's true. And then I looked it up and I go, oh, it is fucking true. But still, this is the thing. If I was really into fucking hot sauce and I was fucking running and I was on an all-black radio station, I wouldn't have brought it up. Because it would have looked like pandering. And then if I did bring it up, sorry about my voice, I sound like I'm going through puberty here. Even if I did brought it up, then I would have been honest about it. Been like, no, I know, it sounds like I'm pandering. But there are some crossover things. I actually really enjoy it.
Deploying heat sink.
So, you mean
Boosting now.
she has to take some sort of the responsibility that, you know, she couldn't beat this fucking nitwit. All right, over 300 of the top economists, I'm not saying that she's not an evil cunt too. Over 300 of the top economists, including 8 Nobel laureates, came together to say, I don't even know if I said that right, that a Trump presidency would mean turmoil in the American and as a result, the world's economy. Over 350 of the best scientists in the world came together
Targeting
to say his
highest
presidency
threat.
would be a disaster for the entire
Nearest
planet
hostile
because of his
selected.
dangerous stance on climate change. Not to mention, Russia literally threw a party in the Parliament building as soon as Trump was elected. That actually, I'm happy. I like when Russia and the United States are on friendly fucking terms. It would be nice that we're not going in a direction to fucking keep pointing missiles at one another. And, you know, for as much
Nearest
as
threat selected.
Al Gore, I loved his stance on climate change. He wasn't able to get a fucking thing done. He wasn't able to stop it. He wanted to fucking, you get a few policies in there, they just ignore it. And these guys, they're only in there for 48 years. They just wait them out. I remember when Al Gore wanted to have a car that got 100 miles to a gallon. I was excited. I was in my 20s. I wanted to buy the car. They just kept delaying it and delaying it and delaying it, and then they got out of office.
Locking on.
Al didn't beat Bush, and then they just scrapped it, and it was
Nearest
fucking over. And that's what they
hostile.
do, because they don't give a shit. They don't give a shit. You honestly think Hillary Clinton would have stopped global warming? If you talk, all those 350 scientists that are all experts, you know what else they've said? They said it's too late. It was too late by the 1980s. It's or something in the 90s. It's been too late. It's almost like not even a fucking issue anymore. I mean, it is an issue, but the only way to do it was we would all have to fucking go back to living like cavemen, and 90% of us would have to die and just kind of sit there and not do jumping jacks to add to the fucking heat and hope this thing could heal itself. Other than that, I don't know what the fuck you're gonna do. Because everybody's running around just having to get a flat screen TV in every fucking room. You know, I love how it's like the political candidates are responsible for it. It's like we're just as responsible as anybody else, aren't we? I don't know. Jesus Christ, this is like Meet the Press here. Anyway, so the next time you open that stupid fucking freckled, crusted mouth, this guy's like more enlightened than me,
Locking
by the way.
target.
Remember, your words have power. You are an influential
Target ready
person,
to
whether you want to
engage.
believe it or not. I don't expect you to read this tirade on the
Targeting
podcast,
nearest
but I hope you
hostile.
read it and realize what a fool you've been. Why? Because I don't agree with you? Because you have all of this, admittedly, that is, none of this was researched? If you just did 45 minutes of research, earlier you told me a couple hours, you could see that, yes, Hillary made mistakes with the email and Benghazi. Yeah, she made mistakes, okay? But nothing she ever did was criminal. Exactly. All right, well, Trump, he made some mistakes with women, but none of it was ever criminal, or he would have been fucking in jail, right? He would have been brought up on charges, right? The charges would have stuck. You can do the same thing. You're going to completely... I like how you don't bring up the fucking Hillary Foundation or any of that type of shit either. Or any of the other fucking... all that other, whatever, the fucking Whitewater, all of that fucking crap. You don't bring up any of that shit. You don't bring up the fact that they're both worth hundreds of millions of fucking dollars. And that's not a red flag to you. These down-to-earth Democrats who are men of the people, they're worth a couple $100 million. The presidency pays 500 grand a year. How do they do it? And don't give me that horse shit about they give political speeches. The fucking political speeches that they give, okay? Can you at least agree with me on this, sir? That's just those people washing their bribe money. Those are the people that put him in office, and then they go back and they give a speech, and they give him 300 grand,
Targeting.
250
Stand
grand
by.
to fucking speak there for him. Give me a fucking break. All right? All right, so there, that's his fucking thing. So he thinks I'm a moron, and I got Trump to be
Target
fucking
locked.
elected. Okay, now here's somebody exact opposite. Bill, you really are uneducated on Trump. Bill, you need to run away from the progressives. This person thinks I'm a progressive liberal.
Sync deploying
Listen
now.
to the exact same podcast, sir. Move the fuck out of
Boosting
California
now.
or whatever liberal spot you're living in. Now,
Locking
this is what I
on.
can tell you immediately, is the last person who wrote this email is not listening to this at all. Is already yelling at his fucking windshield about what a dope this guy is. He goes, I just heard your podcast about the tearful Democrats. Yeah, he listened to my podcast, and he thinks that I'm a progressive liberal. And for instance, you had no clue who is going to pay for the wall. Dude, I've said all along I have no clue. I don't know shit about football. I watch fucking Patriots Seattle. I can't name half the fucking people. All right, here we go. You have no true... This is the funniest thing I've ever... One of the funny things I've read. You have no clue who's going to pay for the wall. Trump had 100 rallies where he asked the audience, who's going to pay for the wall? And everyone would shout, Mexico. Do you realize, sir, that all you were doing was just repeating what he said was going to happen, but he never said how he would get Mexico? Sir, just imagine you didn't like your next door neighbor, okay? And you were sick of him cutting across your lawn or whatever the fuck he was doing. You know, cutting across the corner of your lawn and making the grass go flat, and you were fucking sick of it. Now, let me ask you this.
Nearly
Let's say you
Stolstein.
decided to build a wall and you decided that he was going to pay for it. How would you go about doing that? Exactly. Now, let's move it up to a fucking country level. So we're going to build this wall, and we're going to... How is he going to make Mexico pay for it? And if you tell
Hold
me
tight,
it's
Commander.
only a guess,
Fighter
because
is
as
going
far as I
online.
watched, he never
We've
said
got
how.
multiple hostiles here. Let's take them out one at a time.
Economic sanctions. We
Fighter
gotta
is clear
pressure
of the
them into
mothership.
fucking doing it. Okay, anyways, here we go. How is it that those mobs, great word, dude, are more educated than you? Who the
Affirmative.
fuck is saying
Maneuvering
that
to
the
attack
benefit
position.
of the walls will be jobs? Who are you listening to? And who said Trump doesn't want health care? He's been really left on health care, saying people with no insurance should be able to get treatment and care from way back when he was running in the primaries. See, now this guy thinks Trump is left on this. See, this is why. This is why, sir. The first person that you think I had influence, it's like people just hear the podcast. You guys already have your fucking minds made up. And then you listen to the podcast, okay? And it's like watching a football game. And you're listening to Chris
50%.
Collinsworth. I met him one time when I did on Inside the NFL. Chris Collinsworth goes, everybody thinks I hate their fucking team and like the other team better. And that's what you guys are doing with this podcast, all right? You guys are listening to this shit, you lean left or you lean right, and when I trash your guy, you think I'm only trashing your man or woman,
That's gotta hurt.
and I'm
Targeting.
trashing it more
Stand
than the other
by.
people. And then if and when your person loses, you then blame my
Nearest threat
podcast.
selected.
All right? You guys went out and you voted for who the fuck you wanted to vote for, and you listened to the information that you wanted to listen to, and you listened to whatever the fuck you were receptive to that vibed in your life, which is the exact reason why when I was doing this bit on stage talking about Trump supporters going, how can you support this guy? He's got
Enemy
people
destroyed,
fucking yelling the
Commander.
N-word at his ralies.
Multiple
There's
targets in
video
this
of that.
area,
Doesn't that
Commander.
bother
Could be
you?
dangerous.
And this is what they would say. Well, you know, I'm not. I said this on Conan. They would be like, you know,
Target locked.
I'm not into that. I'm not into that. But Hillary, and what it is what tracks for people is what's going to affect their fucking life. And unfortunately, when it comes to fucking racism, it doesn't track with white people because it's not a factor in their life. White people are not victims of racism, despite the fact they say that they are when they talk about like affirmative action. that that's racist because they don't understand that the reason why affirmative action came
That's gotta
about
hurt.
was because
Target
racist
down.
white people would not hire people who were not white. So they literally had to come up with a law to force white people to give other people a chance. And then what people do is they just look at that moment. They don't look at the history of it. They just look right then and there. So, I don't know. I think that, look, I understand that right now, believe me, do I understand, going to comedy shows
Targeting
and seeing the way the
highest
fucking
threat.
crowd is reacting, that this is a very volatile fucking time. This guy
Mayday,
goes on to talk
Commander.
about
Taking
how
fire.
fucking,
Any more of this and I've had it,
people thought
Commander. Hull
Republicans
is
were being
critical.
dramatic when they said no to World War
I've got
III,
incoming
vote
missiles.
Trump, but the Democratic National, the
We've
DNC,
lost the fighter,
I
Commander.
don't know what the fuck it stands for, forced Russia to, why isn't it DNP, Democratic National Party? Make my life easier. Force Russia to dump tons of money
Hold
into
tight, Commander.
hypersonic
Fighter
nuclear
is going
missiles.
online.
They have these fucking
Multiple
hypersonic
targets in this
carriages
area,
that can
Commander.
hold
Could
16
be
nuclear
dangerous.
warheads that can penetrate our missile shields.
Heli presence
blah, blah,
online.
blah, all
Awaiting
this
your
type of
orders.
shit.
I'm hit.
Reputable
I'm
scholars
hit.
were saying that we're moving towards World War III if you elect Hillary. Now they're all changing their tune thanks to President Trump, former host of The Apprentice. Get on board with Trump. Your annoying voice should be on our side. See, he doesn't think I'm fucking on his side. You don't think I'm on your side. Both of you have scholars and scientists that say your point of view is right, because what you guys do is you go to I'mRight.com and you memorize a bunch of horse shit. And then when your person doesn't win, you then fucking blame a podcast. So there you go. I don't know what to tell you guys. I respect both of your opinions. I don't agree on either one of them.
That's one for
I
me,
usually don't say
Commander.
who I vote for because I think it's a private matter, but I did not vote for either one of them. I voted for somebody else. Bernie wasn't on the ballot. I voted for somebody else
Enemy
that I
destroyed,
thought
Commander.
was
Locking
the
onto
best
target.
candidate, not who the fuck I thought was going to win. And I think that's a major problem, is that people don't want what's right. They want to win, you know? So they will go with a candidate that is a warmonger or a fucking racist or a corrupt piece of shit, and they don't give a fuck as long as they're wearing the right fucking color tie. All right. And
Target ready to engage.
All right, let's read some advertising.
Nearest
everybody.
hostile selected.
But I do have to say this, is let's just say whatever Trump is going to do.
Afterburners maxing engines.
All it's doing for me, you know, he appoints this guy, and he's got this fucking past where he allegedly
Multiple
said
targets
something
in this area,
about
Commander.
Jews.
Could be dangerous.
You know, wasn't proven or whatever, but he's got this fucking background. Like, all that does for me, it just inspires me to become more of a fucking understanding person and try to listen to people. And as long as you just take that, like, that attitude, you know, I really don't think a president should make up your mind on who you should be afraid of.
Afterburners
And what we
engaged.
need to do and what these people are going to do to us or what they're not going to do to us just because they fucking said it. I don't listen to that.
Targeting next
What I
hostile.
like to do is I listen to what the president says, and then I go to the
That's one for
country
me, Commander.
and I go to their fucking thing and I try to find some English story about what the fuck they're saying about us, and then I try to figure out what the middle is. All right?
On my way, Commander. Fighter retrieval
Arming
commencing.
weapons.
What color your fucking tie is. All right. So, white people, if you're nervous, okay? Liberal whites, if you're really a fucking good liberal white, you'll become even more fucking understanding of people that aren't white and that are gonna, you know, bear the brunt of what this guy might fucking do. I think it's your responsibility to become even more understanding.
Sequence complete.
You know what
Fighter
I
is
mean?
safely
And
on
stop
board,
making
Commander.
everything about yourself and
Charging
your fucking
frame
world.
shift drive.
Because the mainstream is already about that. All right? There you go. I'm off my. You need to take it or don't. You know, it's up to fucking you. All right? But I don't want to hear you crying about somebody taking your fucking. I can't stand listening to white people talking about, oh, they're taking the country away from us. It's like, if you looked at a fucking census, you idiot, you know, you're fine. Okay? All the water parks, they're made for you. No one gives a second look when you show up. Like, what's his element doing here? They're excited you're there, and within 2 seconds, there's someone in a mascot outfit fucking hugging you. There you go. All right? You're gonna be fine. All right. Driving your four-wheeler on your property.
Drives engaging 75%.
Okay, I'll tell you this quick story.
Fortunately, Nia liked her gifts. And I always have a little bit of anxiety whenever I give Nia gifts because my first girlfriend I ever had, I think I told you this story before, did I? My first girlfriend I ever had, I had to get her a gift. Now, I didn't grow up around the ladies. I just had brothers for the longest fucking time, right? And I don't mean black people. I mean, I had, like, I was related to these people. I had brothers. So, this cough is never going to go away, by the way, because the fucking prescription I got, you know, just fucking put it down on the mat, and now it's just fucking hanging around like this thing that won't leave. I know you guys are thinking, oh, you must be smoking like a chimney. I'm not. I'm not fucking smoking at all. Slash, I might be done with cigars. And I'm kind of done with booze too. I just can't fucking do it anymore. You know, I love it and all that shit, but I just hate waking up in the morning. Like, ugh. I'm over. You know what? I'm over hangovers. Fuck you, 2016. Yeah. I'll have like a beer. I'll have like, you know, like one glass of scotch at this point, but I can't do the fucking. I can't take the ride anymore. You know what I mean? And it just hit me one day. Like, you know how quickly Brett Favre got old? Just bam, done, over, out of the fucking league. You know? He hung around and he hung around and he hung around. Then he took that last fucking hit when he was on the Vikings, you know? And it just looked like his clothes were just laying on the ground. Didn't even look like there was a person in it, you know? And all the really religious people got all concerned that, you know, that they got left behind. And it's like, no, that's what it looks like when a fucking 42-year-old guy takes a hit from a fucking defensive end. Yeah, I'm fucking done with all of that shit. However, let me tell you the story of the first girlfriend I had. So it was her birthday was coming up, and I had absolutely no idea what to get a female. So I go to the mall, and I'm looking around. I had no fucking idea. And I came up to this table, and they had all these polo-style shirts. Nice shirts, shirt I would wear, and they were on sale and all that stuff, and it just, all these different colors. So I bought her like 4 of them, and I wrapped them up, and I gave her
Come on.
Izods and polo shirts and shit, and she fucking unwrapped these things, and the level of disappointment on her face, and she just was like, what is this? What the fuck? And dude, she just fucking went off. She flipped out. She started yelling at me like a head coach mad at halftime, you know? You know, I said, kick the ball away from him. You kicked it right to him, you jack, you know? Flipping out on me, and I literally did. I was so embarrassed.
I think this is
I kind of
locked
put
up.
my head down. I looked at my feet and then just sat down on the edge of the bed as she was yelling at me. Right? And I don't know what happened. Like, I was so fucking embarrassed. And she, you know, I was young. I didn't know anything about women and shit. And she was just going off on me. And about 3/4 of the way into her rant, which was really a good 90 seconds long, by the way, which is fucking forever, I think she was kind of coming to her senses that she was taking in what she was doing to me by my body language and the fact that she had just gotten a gift and the way she was reacting. And she started to try to pull back on the stick and be like, oh, no, you know, it's kind of... And that's when the anger fucking hit me. That was one of the first times in my ute that I actually addressed my feelings in the moment. You know, I was fucking one of those people brutally, like 3 days later, I'd be like, hey, wait a minute. That person took advantage of me, or that person was being rude. I should have fucking said something, right? This fucking wave of anger came up, and I just, you know, handled it classically like the German-Irish guy I am. I didn't communicate anything. I just stood up. I walked over. I started putting my jacket on and all that. Now, of course, she's fucking, no, don't leave, doing all that shit. You know what I mean? And all you want to do is the swim move that a defensive lineman does, you know? You fucking push to the side, and then you fucking bring your arm up and over. That's what I wanted to do.
Yeah,
so
we might call it there
now
anyway.
I'm walking towards the door, and she does what every fucking woman does in that moment. She's
Needless to say, we killed many and made some millions out of it, I would expect.